The following is a computer-generated reading of a discourse by Sri Anandamurtiji on Bhakti-Devotion. The word Bhakti-Devotion means worshipping. For worshipping, both the person who worships and he who is worshipped must be present. For this reason, as long as there is difference between the devotee and God, there is the opportunity and necessity of Bhakti sadhana. Bhakti means longing for the Supreme. Now the question arises if Bhakti is natural or unnatural for living beings. All the conscious or crude things we see in the manifested universe bear attraction for one another. This attraction alone is the dharma, nature, of the created universe, and as a consequence, the continuity of the thought projections of the cosmic mind is maintained. Therefore I say that attraction is natural for everything. It is on account of the mutual attraction of myriads of heavenly bodies oscillating in the infinite space that balance is maintained in the firmament. There is effort for self-preservation. The bee flies around and around flowers in quest of honey, just for the sake of preserving its existence. It can be seen that every entity runs toward that abode which is more lasting and secure and which can provide a greater and longer safety. People run after money for the only reason that they believe that they can maintain their lives under the shelter of money. That is to say, money alone can save them. But they do not know that money can provide them neither permanent stability nor a securely founded shelter. Even during the span of their lives, money will come and go several times. At times its glamour will dazzle their eyes, and sometimes it will make them cry, hunger-stricken. Not to speak of money alone. All finite objects have this characteristic. What is not infinite cannot permanently remain the object of your enjoyment. It cannot be your permanent resort, since the existence of all these finite objects is dependent on others, bounded by the limits of time, place and person. If the terrific speed with which the extroverted man runs after finite objects is introverted toward the supreme being of his life, he can attain Brahma. He can achieve the supreme state. The devotee recites, O Almighty, may the attraction which the ignorant man bears towards the objects of his mind become an eternal love for thee, through thy remembrance. You understand for certain that pure bhakti cannot be based on finite objects, since these cause extroverted feelings. But I observe painfully that many men confine their love and devotion to finite objects. What is the result? They do not attain the pervasiveness which love confers. They do not realize that every minutest atom of this vast universe is a creative manifestation of that very cosmic consciousness, his grand expression. They spend millions on the installation of idols but ignore the afflictions of the suffering humanity. The world is a changing phenomenon. Therefore, it is unwise to be attached to any object in this ever-changing world. The very name and form will undergo changes with the change in time and place. The child changes into youth, the youth into the old, and the old into the corpse. But if wise men take every object of the world as the expression of the one and single cosmic consciousness, then on seeing the changes in the name and form of any particular object, they will not be affected by pain or pleasure. Cosmic consciousness to them would remain cosmic consciousness. They would lose nothing. The methods and kinds of Bhakti Yoga are manifold. Man adopts the process of Bhakti sadhana according to his own nature. Crude devotion, Ramasika Bhakti. The persons craving finite pleasures instead of supreme bliss and who are under the influence of violence, arrogance or jealousy, are crude sadhakas. Mutative devotion, Rajasika Bhakti. Those carrying on spiritual practices with the goal of attaining a particular finite object are called mutative sadhakas. Mutative sadhakas are engrossed in realizing their selfish ends, while not causing harm to others. They are worshipping the Lord in a crude way with flowers and leaves for the sake of worldly objects, fame or wealth. They in fact long for those objects and not for the Lord. Sentient devotion, Sattvic Bhakti: those who pursue their practice with the prayer, O Lord, may my karma be annihilated. Emancipate me from the cycle of birth and death. Those who pursue their practice as their duty, and also those who pursue it for the fear that people may decry them, are classed as sentient sadhakas. Inasmuch as they do not seek attainment of the Supreme, even this sattvika sadhana cannot be termed as a superior sadhana, or as the supreme sadhana, because none of these motives control the energies of the aspirants and direct them towards the adored. The Supreme Brahma, the aim of the aspirant, is channeled in a different direction. He carries on with an inferior goal. All these three, crude, mutative and sentient types of devotion are inferior devotion. Unqualified devotion, nirguna bhakti. Here the aspirant has no other object. He betakes himself toward the Supreme Brahma only by the urge of his own spirit. If questioned why he loves him and devotes himself towards him, then he says in reply, "No. Why do I love? I do not know. I love him just because I like to love him. Should I not love? He is the life of my life, the soul of my soul." Complete devotion, Kevala Bhakti. If the aspirant from the very outset realizes the permanence of unqualified devotion, the questions like "What have I attained? What do I wish to attain?" etc. do not arise in his mind. This is the culmination of bhakti. If there is undivided knowledge with the object, then there exists one and only one entity, and that is why such devotion is called Kevala Bhakti. Kevala Bhakti is not attained by baths, exercises or efforts. Those who have not been blessed with kripa, grace, even in the least cannot have any realization about it.